Maverick Vinales ready. Green flag waving. We are ready. Vinales at all. Franco Morbidelly got away really well. Fabio Quartararo gets swallowed, and through comes.
Did Fabio Quartararo. Disastrous start from the front row for the Frenchman. So it's Morbidelli and
Valentino wanted immediately a defensive line there from Maverick Vinales. The two Suzuki's had a good day
at all because he's now got the hard work to get through on Jack Miller's Ducati. Jack Miller said he might try and
a tight line up the inside though. It's going to be close this one, and he closes the door. Does Franco Morbidelli on the
Miller?
He's going for it now though. He's got that inside line. Oh, he sits him up.
Miller through on Jack on the coattails of Fabio Quartararo. It'll be Morbidelli that leads his home Grand Prix through
teeth chattering. Cheek pattering. I think we both need our teeth, but a Jack Miller. Then it's Maverick Vinales, and Fabio Quartararo is desperate to try and find a way past
both Vinales and Quartararo, the exact opposite to the starts that Morbidelli and Rossi both made.
Because it's such a short start-finish straight. There is Jhoan Mir. He's intense just here. He's really keen to get through on Franco Morbidelli.
Yeah, no major impression behind Maverick Vinales in fourth spot. And Morbidelli and Rossi are starting to make. He's going for it again up the inside of Morbidelli. Morbidelli just leaves his braking that little bit late there.
Yeah, great drive Rossi gets out of turn 6. Through we go then into Vinales, but also trying to keep Alex Rins at bay.
Yeah, the two Suzukis are starting to look seriously.
Terrible start for Miguel Oliveira. He lost 5 places. The Styrian Grand Prix race winner.
He plays at the moment. Thought Rins was going to fire it up the inside of Quartararo into turn 14. No behind Maverick at the moment. Vinales is still waiting probably for that hard rear tyre to properly come in
on the front row there. Struggling in these early stages. Morbidelli from Rossi and Miller. Small but a bit of space between himself and Franco Bagnaia back in 8th place.
Vizioso is coming on the threat there at the top of your picture from Jhoan Mir. Was Zarco going through under Vizioso?
Well, now Rossi gets that great drive from turn 6. Can he challenge once more?
That was a great sprint coming out of turn 6. What a great shot that was. You can see that Ducati sitting down that course. I think Quartararo might just be attacking Maverick Vinales there. It was getting very, very close.
Here come the top 3, and here come Maverick and Fabio. Fabio, the Yamaha, copes with the bumps better than most. Surely Fabio Quartararo's going to have a look. No, he's
pressure on Vinales now, isn't he? And they can just see Morbidelli and Rossi eking away at the keeping the boss at bay.
On board with the doctor there as we come across the line. He won't have
Vinales gets great grip out of turn 16. Miller's the fastest man on circuit right now at 30. The brilliant test rider, unfortunately. He's taking a tumble at turn 14.
Yeah, this is good from out of turn 6 we go. Look at that, rear end,
squats down,
still as you were. Morbidelli, who hasn't led a race now since Brno, of course.
In recent history, what we've learned in recent history is that sometimes both Morbidelli, so how will that work out as we get into the business end of this race? Now then, Quartararo well wide there,
really wide.
Turn 11.
So you've got to watch that. Kemudian's got to take a long lap penalty.
Jhoan Mir at the moment, just lap times, but Rins is opened up an advantage of 7/10. He's taken a big chunk of time. Rins going for Quartararo in the background there. Sorry, Steve, I think Rins might have been actually looking at a movers here, but not quite able to make the passes stick.
He was the fastest man on that last lap, Alex Rins.
If you stall it, you're supposed to wheel the bike off the grid and start from pit lane.
So good then for Franco Morbidelli, but he's got company, and Miller's closed that gap down a bit as well. The Panatales and Quartararo.
That hard rear tyre now will be in and working nicely. He'll be able to moving his way forward and piling pressure then on Miller, Rossi and Morbidelli ahead of him.
Then his protege that he brought through the ranks at the academy. Start of this one. There is Alex Rins then, fastest man on circuit, trying to
this weekend, particularly Davide Brivio, say how difficult it is to overtake around this 2 or 3 laps, but he just can't find a way through to make the move clean.
Which is probably going to get a bit harder for Bagnaia as well, and Dobby, 9th is about the best as it gets.
Then rolling back the years into turn 4, keeping that gap down to under the off-road event at the VR46 Ranching Pavilion. These two always pay out.
Finishes on the podium here today. It's one of the rides of the day. You expected to see the Yamaha, the speed. Miller's doing a grand job in the early stages.
Absolutely awesome. That's why Ducati picked him to be in the vote. And Vinales. This is further back down the field. A battle waging between the Espargaro brothers there and Brad Binder. They're still not going to be repeating their winning heroics of Brno and
not being their fight themselves, although arguably Paul Espargaro in the stakes. Here we are on board with Franco Morbidelli. He's got a
tipping my cap to Pecco Bagnaia because he's got incredible rhythm at the moment. fast 0.72, about 2 tenths quicker than Rossi in second place. Outstanding job. Davizio.
There are the Suzukis then of Rins and Mir. At the front there's no change. Rossi's trying to apply pressure to Franco Morbidelli, and Miller is there ready to pick up the pieces as well if should it all go wrong. Still nothing real
For quite some time. There's been a few near misses, or a few near passes I should say, for quite a few laps now this league group of 7.
There's Morbidelli just exceeding track limits slightly there.
Aro probably nerved him out of the way, picked him up big style there, didn't he?
He has the inside line. What can he now do about that gap to Jhoan Mir, which has gone up to half a second?
Yeah, of course, Maverick Vinales really needs to finish ahead of Fabio Quartararo to reignite his championship charge after a disaster right now. He is way quicker. He's the first man in the 32s. Quartararo's bailed out.
The World Championship leader is down at turn 4.
Cars at turn 14 on the previous lap, and at turn 4, Fabio fluffs it.
MotoGP script.
Andrea Dovizioso's 9th. He could be leading the World Championship at the end. By Fabio Quartararo on the deck at turn number 4. His big
Close to the gap.
Can you believe this? Andrea Dovizioso, we just said it. The guy's not even in the top 6. Well, astonishing.
Well,
and Rossi, look at Rossi, he's only 10 points down. This could not make this up. We've said this before, if you pitch this season to a Hollywood
stuff,
this is unbelievable. So Fabio Quartararo fluffs his lines for the first time.
He's shaking his head, Maverick. This is going from bad to worse for the number 12. And a 32.706 for the injured Italian.
Bagnaia's in a different race to the guys ahead of him. What about Vinales? Vinales a 33.8. Bagnaia was 1.1 second quick.
Around the outside. Bagnaia around the outside of Jhoan Mir. No,
he streaked away from Andrea Dovizioso behind him. Tight there between Mir and Vinales.
Through past Jhoan Mir.
Well, what have we always said? Adrenaline is the best painkiller in the world. Laps to go, but he can sniff the podium already.
In the meantime,
he's wide, a little bit wide there.
But you're looking here at Pecco Bagnaia, the fastest man on, is a bit shaken here in this race. You do wonder, don't you, if that little drama on the grid at the start
just unnerved him a little bit as well.
Wide,
way hot. And that's allowed Bagnaia not gone the way he had expected it to at all. Plan A was to get out front and bolt. It went wrong from them. He did a 32.7 best of the race. As soon as he's got into this groove, his pace dropped by a foot, almost close to tagging Vinales there, wasn't he, in the first corner. You cannot take your eyes in a strong third place still. Those three now have got quite a big buffer back to Alex Rins.
Yesterday, the only man I fear is Fabio Quartararo. He's now out of the race and this is gone.
Can you believe Fabio Quartararo, having dominated the first 2 races sideline, he's not going to have a top 6 since those 2 maximum 50.
Astonishing. What I can tell you is we are going to have another in MotoGP for 2020, whatever happens here.
This has been incredible. Alex Rins has got in 32.851. Yeah, Alex Rins was a mile quicker than the 3 men ahead of him, a mile faster than Miller.
Out of turn 6 we go. Morbidelli, this does him so many favours in the World Championship. I think he'd just be a handful of points. Valentino Rossi there, he just lost half a tenth maybe into turn 8. Here is Fabio Quartararo, who has rejoined seconds down on Stefan Prada right now, but he will be so upset. Maverick Vinales, the bike could never settle there. It was switching in wide as well.
Jhoan Stigefeld, Razlik, they cannot believe it. Well, this is the World Champ out, wasn't it, by Petrucci on the first lap in Phillip Island. I can't remember the last time he bailed out of his own accord. Jhoan Miller's had a track limits warning, so he's got to be careful. A couple more indiscretion.
Morbidelli started to break away here.
Good, isn't he?
He's looking fantastic, Franco Morbidelli.
Tired in Franco Morbidelli, so I'll be hoping that lightning doesn't strike twice. Can anybody do a bin?
Jhoan Mir then, at the moment, holding on to 3rd place. He just put in his fastest lap.
And another 132.8. That's back-to-back 132.8s from the Suzuki man.
We're only 11 laps gone. There's still 16 to go. A lot could still change, and we as well. It's up to 8 tenths now for Franco Morbidelli. He's in a world of his own.
What happened to Franco Morbidelli and Valentino Rossi? This would be so circuit. Almost as close as brothers, aren't they, this pair? And when you think of all the trolls, would be such a great result for the pair of them.
Well, it's races have not been his fault.
No.
And one of them, he was well positioned to possibly get 20
course to be taking that 200th podium, although that's not a given because Miller and we're still not even a half race distance.
No, Alex Rins here right now looks stayed with so long to go that he's got a good chance of still winning this race.
Bagnaia is just absolutely nowhere. His pace has dropped off the cliff. He's doing and struggling to do 32s for fun. It's been another very humbling afternoon so far for Maverick Vinales.
It does seem that track conditions change after Moto3 and Moto2 races have been on.
He's lavishing praise on Yamaha for locking out that top four, but of those four, well,
I mean,
everybody thought it was going to be, well, it was going to be Vinales and Quattararo.
Yeah, exactly. If you'd have asked me, now Rins needs to dispatch of Miller quickly. He's going for it.
Awesome. Start posing a real serious problem. This is going to be fascinating with clear track ahead of him. How quick a look up the inside of Jack Miller into turn 4, which has proven so costly for Fabio Quattararo today, as gaps Miller behind him.
Is Miller just starting to find it?
Not a lot wrong with Pecco Bagnaia.
He's having a big look over his shoulder there, Jack Miller. I think he's got a bit of trouble.
He wasn't in that Andalusian Grand Prix when that cruel mechanical problem denied him a stone first podium finish in MotoGP.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he manages to get past Alex Rins, there'll be some.
Yeah, Terduga will be rocking, I think it's fair to say.
So then,
Steve, that Franco Morbidelly stretched his lead over Rossi to over a second. At the moment, Ross, shape of Rins and Bagnaia.
there is Rins. There is fastest rider actually was Jhoan Mir, number 36, 30 behind Jack Miller.
Yeah, and that lap time Miller because he was 1.4 seconds.
Andrea Dovizioso's lapping just as quick as the guys that front as well now. In quicker than most.
Well, Dovizioso is playing his get out of jail free card, big start today because GP World Championship. How many more twists and turns are we going to get in the road? Well, 13 laps to go. Look how quickly Rins and Bagnaia have dispensed with.
I mean, just nobody can keep any consistency in MotoGP in 2020 at all. So might be set to continue after this. There's Linjar.
Standing success, real stars of the show in many respects in 2020. They have what a lap time that is from the race leader. A 1:32.748. It's a person that was half a second quicker than the 41-year-old behind him, and now Rossi can forget about it.
He's got some work on, hasn't he, to try and hold on to this podium because there's some good speed going on. We're both quicker than Rossi, Rins and Bagnaia last time around. Here is Johan Zarco, ATMs, 11th, 12th and 13th.
He's just on a 1:33.251, so there's nothing wrong with his rhythm at the moment.
Having Rossi, but look who's closing on Rins.
It's going to get worse as well in a minute for Maverick Vinales. Be clicking faster than Vinales.
How is it possible? How can you be so, and at this stage of the race, be in 7th place?
Well, there are going to be questions asked, aren't there, about his rear tyre, strong on all weekend, but with this win, maybe slightly cooling the temperatures down on Jack Miller. Quite a look at the corner speed. The Suzuki's got much better corner speed.
Yeah, well, it's just the turning ability of that Suzuki in comparison to the Ducati as well. To the back straight we go. This is the battle for 5th and 6th.
Rossi ahead of the Mir, out of the seat.
Beniga there on the power, wasn't he?
Steady on
in MotoGP. Every single point is so precious.
Unbelievable. I mean, Alex Rins at the moment on that last lap was. It's all about his focus and concentration and keeping himself cool because he's nipping. Now Rossi's struggling here, big start. He's being reeled in massively by both Rins.
For Valentino Rossi, his pace has fallen.
Well, it's the gap, it's down to half a second, so Rins again, much the quicker man.
Upset things, and Mir has got through. Mir's gone through on Jack Miller, so Miller
pace is not bad at all. In fact, it's brilliant. He's still doing low 1:33s. It's just behind. Rossi actually done a 32 all race. He's reeled off lots and lots of low 1:33.
Oh, that was lovely from Jhoan Mir.
That's just a bit of corner speed, a bit of edge grip, and a bit of agility
in second. Alex Rins there in 4th on the Suzuki, and then the Ducati in MotoGP, which arguably should have come in Jerez. He was brilliant there as well. From his broken leg. Doesn't really seem to be affecting him. He did say that he was a little bit
podium off Rossi. He might get a whack round the back of the head with that close.
To go, and this has been a masterclass from Franco Morbidelli thus far.
Brilliant, but once again behind him, Bagnaia again was able to fire in a high
18 laps has put in his fastest lap of the race, and he's into the low 1:33s. Unfortunately,
that's Jerez when he took his only podium of the season so far. He's going to have to do a lot of defensive work over these laps.
Rear Michelin, will that last the distance.
And to that medium rear tyre compound now.
It's all over for Quartararo.
Yeah, he's in the pits.
Will retire, and he can't believe it.
Can you believe what has happened in MotoGP?
All weekend.
Not a top 6 in the last 4 after such a record-breaking start.
4/10 of a second, and now they're on him.
He's really struggling, I think, at the moment. Not struggling with him, it's just that those two behind him are that little bit quicker. Not a lot in it,
But fine, mind you, for 8 laps is a job like no other.
yeah. That's going to be
With Alex Rins on the Suzuki, breaking into turn 4. This is where Rossi's okay. On the exit of turn 6, no problem.
These are points up.
Is he going to have a look up the inside into turn 8? Is he going to outbrake Rossi? Not this time. Bagnaia as well.
Quartararo's actually come into pits and now he's rejoined the race. In dismal day for Maverick Vinales.
This is where Rins seems to be able to make up. Is he going to do 2 in 1?
Brave in the extreme by Bagnaia. Up the inside. Oh, someone's gone down.
Who's down? Oh, we can hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
It was me, I thought it was more.
Do you know what? I thought the same. Oh, well, Fabio Quartararo is shocker of a Sunday here in Misano. Second crash of the day. Send my ticket fluttering there, mate. Blimey. Anyway, Bagnaia and Alex Rins in hot at turn 4 that time around.
And it's going to be cold tyre.
That's just nowhere near enough temperature of the tyre. It's emotions post-race for the Petronas Yamaha SRT team, because on one side, the flip side of that coin, will be unbridled joy for Franco Morbidelli.
Now here comes Bagnaia up the side of Valentino Rossi, his boss as well. We've got the 2 Academy boys ahead of Bagnaia. He's not close enough.
The Academy was designed to bring through young talent, not necessarily to... Can Rossi cling on to a home podium, a milestone 200th Premier Class podium, and force that issue?
Well, I just did not see this one coming. Incredible Storms who thought about the move into turn 2 there. He wants to make it steady on this group quite rapidly.
And this one, he gets the job done.
Rins has been told to switch to mapping 3. Valentino Rossi, the block pass is coming. Oh my goodness me, that was close.
Oh, I was winning.
Rossi in Misano, not when he's on a podium. If you're going to make the move, make it clear. I mean,
Alex Rins did that. He's going to need 24-hour security every time he steps onto Italian Sossi, and Rins is just giving Mir a chance to creep back into this battle. Looks like he's going to have that second place, which should have been his, of course, in Andalusia a few weeks.
He's back up into 6th. 5 laps to go now. Morbidelli, who's trying to get through on Rossi. Rossi there knew it was coming. That was a very clever...
Yeah, Mir Rins rather, just trying to pick his moment here. Somebody can. This is going to be tough going here for Alex Rins. We saw Bagnaia just use the braking zone for turn number 8. He's not going to be close enough to strike this time around. Dovizioso may well be picking off Jack Miller before the end of this race. He's a lot quicker than the Austrian.
Out of turn 10 we go.
Mir is not out of this at all. In fact, he was a lot quicker. With that clear track, he's much quicker than Rossi and Rins.
Close enough again. Although Rossi's slightly wide on exit, they're almost side by side.
And seeing the 2 Suzukis gagging up behind him.
Right then, onto the start to this crucial podium spot. Tito Rabat's crashed out. Riders up because he'd probably seen on a screen that that's his strongest point, and now Mir is on them as well.
Having to do all he can to keep Mir behind him as well.
Well, he might actually be able to do Valentino himself.
Tito Rabat, so let's hope that he's perfectly okay. There's your race leader at turn 8. Just still, he desperately wants to make it onto the podium here in Misano for the 200th time with his 2 prodigies, Bagnaia and Morbidelli. We haven't had an all-Italian Peruggi and Dovizioso.
Are able to stay in these positions.
Well, he's coming back towards Pecco Bagnaia. They're throwing everything at this, but he hasn't been able to make a decisive breakaway in the top 3.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, Rossi will be feeling that he could do himself a big favour. It's so difficult to predict this one. We've got 4 riders fighting now for 2 spots on the chain for him that we're not able to witness this show that he's put on, because he's...
That quality helmet yesterday was all to do with the famous Spike Lee movie, Do the Right Thing. Well, he's done the round, fired up the inside of Valentino Rossi. Rossi so good, so late on the
1 second spot. I need to be getting that spot. I need to buy myself some time. Rins with Catty. That's the key. It's so difficult to overtake.
Miller's now got a second. Crazy, isn't it?
So crazy in MotoGP.
You just got to look. Tonneau surface.
I mean, we could still have two Suzukis on the podium as yet. Anything's likely to happen. There's two through these final sectors. Bagnaia's lead over Rossi shrinks once more. Rins, have another look at Valentino Rossi here. No.
Bagnaia, what a resolute race he's ridden so far. Absolutely stunning. This man has been in a class of his own, Franco Morbidelly.
Yeah, the 25-year-old rush, some emotion.
It really is, especially after what happened to him over the last two races in Brno. And what a response this has been from Franco Morbidelli.
Well, given championship charge also, 25 points or so precious at this moment. Dobby has gone through on Miller.
Dobby gets on through, and that's another vital World Championship point now then. Rins cannot get through on Rossi. Rossi in turn trying to find a way through on Pecca.
Control, but he's lost a second in the last lap.
Yeah, I think he's got it under stage of the race.
Mir's gone through on Rins, sorry Matt.
And that could be it.
That could be done. Now then, Rossi!
Rins make a mistake in that final sector.
Morbidelli is here. Yeah. He's going to have a proper bite at Valentino Rossi.
Mir's going to have a pop. Is he going to be close? I don't think he is. Rossi's been awesome on the brakes into turn number 8. No, Mir
in Misano. And it's not over yet for the podium places. You have it. They're almost touching.
Oh, what a move
was that?
What a move. That is that move. Bravo, Jhoan Mir.
Rossi's now going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Sure, he's wide though. It's all gone wrong.
Mir ran the super tight line. Is there going to be Lakers? It looks like Frankie can relax. He's going to take his first MotoGP.
But it's Samba time for Franco Morbidelli, who is finally. We have not got a Yamaha 1, 2, 3. Bagnaia take.